Hello and welcome to A Star to Steer Her by 10 Forward 51.
Ooh.
Today we are watching Arrival, which makes me even more annoyed with Season 4 of Discovery because holy shit, they just ripped off Arrival, guys.
And did it not as well.
Not even remotely. Although it does prove Jake's point, it would have made a better movie. Here it is.
Here's the movie.
Yay.
Okay, so it's not quite that simple. 12, coffee beans just show up one day on Earth. Everyone's freaking out. The military hires Amy Adams, Doctor of Talking, to be like, could you talk to these things? And she's like, what? And she does. And she's deciphering this crazy alien language from the heptapods with these delightful squiddly fellows.
They're on my favorite aliens list because I love them.
Yes, Abbott and Costello.
Ah.
And through the whole picture, she's having what you think are flashbacks. But no, bitch, they're flash fucking forwards because it turns out
we should have said spoiler somewhere in here.
Yeah, well, I'll put it big on the text. Plus, it's a movie. I mean, I think the assumption is we're thinking you've watched the movie. Anywho.
When's it from, though, this film?
2016, actually. It's the 10th anniversary.
Oh, motherfuckers have had 10 years. They're fine. You're upset about being spoiled for this film.
Yeah, it turns out the heptapods don't interpret time literally, and learning their language gives you the same crazy perception of time. So the end is this whole crazy grandfather paradox Doctor Who episode thing where she's learning stuff in the future but remembering it in the past, and fuck, man.
Right?
Fuck. Just fuck.
Yeah, I'm glad you guys didn't get spoiled on this going in because when you know that and watch the movie, it's all there. It's all fascinating it's so seamless that you literally think, oh, these are flashbacks.
Yeah.
And Jeremy Renner's character saying oh, I didn't know you were married and things like that. No, she's not yet because it's to you. It's to you, sir.
Oh my God. I was just talking at the air for the last 20 minutes of the picture being what the fuck? And it's, playing with the convention of film because we're just so used to flashbacks in film.
Exactly, yeah.
And I guess I saw in the credits, it's based on a story. It'd be interesting to see how it works as a text as opposed to a picture.
I've read the story. I've read the story twice now.
I imagine it does it a little differently.
See, here's the thing. Because I've watched the movie, I know the gimmick going into the book. So it's really hard for me to tell when in the short story or the novella, which is also really good. It's called Time of Your Life Story of Your Life by Ted Chiang. It's quite good. I read that he spent 5 years researching linguistics to be able to write this thing.
That's dedication.
It's that fascinating. And I don't know where in the novella I would have figured it out.
Yeah.
Because there's not in the movie, there is that culmination scene when she goes in with the heptapods and they tell her Louise sees the future and your mind blows up absolutely everywhere. There kind of isn't that moment in the novella. It's just I think it's more gradual. Because it's fascinating because it's told simultaneously, going back and forth between moments with the daughter. I forget if the daughter even gets a name in the novella, and I didn't write it down. But moments with the daughter and moments with the heptapods. But all the story that happens with the daughter is told in these interesting grammatical tense ways, in that it'll be I remember the time when you will be born, and it's stuff like that when it's clear, it's so clear the whole time, and I don't know how I would have picked up on it if I had read it before seeing the movie.
That makes me think of Restaurant at the End of the Universe, when there's that little segment about the complications of time travel based grammar.
I feel like we just talked about this recently.
We might have.
I don't remember why it came up, but
That's Star Trek. There's so much fucking time travel.
Yeah, we also had our time travel blog post recently, in which I think Jake and I said, we want to talk about Arrival, but we can't, because that's a massive spoiler to even know that time travel is involved in this movie and in the short story. Because it is and it isn't. Like, it's a fascinating kind of paradox in that way.
Yeah,
I was just going to say, is it time travel, or is it just...
It's just fucking with time.
I mean, the thing that I keep coming back to with this movie is I feel like either Denis or Ted Chiang or whoever came up with the story of the movie, because I haven't read the short story, but I'm assuming it's largely similar, must have been a big fan of Slaughterhouse 5.
Yeah. Ted Chiang has basically said, he's quoted Slaughterhouse 5 all over, like, the Wikipedia article I was reading about him.
Yeah, because the aliens, they look remarkably similar to how the Tralfamadorians are described in Slaughterhouse 5.
That's a fun word.
Tralfamadorian? Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, they're the aliens that abduct Billy Pilgrim and like kind of give him his weird
powers.
Time travel ability, which is basically very similar to Louise's ability. And to the aliens in Slaughterhouse 5, they perceive time not as a linear progression of events, but they see it as a whole.
Yeah, there's no cause and no effect.
There's this whole idea in that story that, when people die, it's not so bad because, they died, but they're alive all these other times. There's also all these other times when they were not alive before, and there's times that they're not alive after. So what are we upset about? Yeah, they're alive at this time, and that's great. Good for them.
That's what strikes you at the end of the picture is like, if you're perceiving all of your time at once, you're experiencing all the highs and all the lows at once. And like, I was thinking, like, it would be fascinating to see how a being that doesn't, saying there's no cause and effect. So like, does a being that doesn't interpret time linearly, like, what is their opinion on the concept of fate?
Exactly, yeah. And what is now Louise's concept of fate? This is something that comes up a little bit in the novella, where she talks about if you had I think she calls it the Book of Time or the Book of All Things, or, the Book of Knowledge, where literally everything that has ever happened and will ever happen is in this book. And you flip to your future and you see, I'll play these lottery numbers or what have you and win $1,000. What if I decide not to? Can you physically do that? And she talks about how, like, now that she knows the future, it's not that she feels like she has to or feels like, this is fate. It just happens.
Yeah. Well, and it feels like, too, like, the impression I'm under is I had a less literary thing I was thinking the whole time, which was Dr. Manhattan from Watchmen, who, after his accident is similarly just perceives sort of everything at once. And, his whole thing is just kind of like, he doesn't fight what's coming because it's already happening to him also. Like, he doesn't see the point of trying to change anything.
Right. That's interesting.
Because it's
like the wormhole aliens.
With it.
Yeah. Like, at the end, something happens, that actually makes him perceive time almost linearly again. And he's, like, kind of thrilled. It's like, oh, shit, I don't know what's happening for the first time in, like, decades. This is nuts.
Yeah, and I like the idea with, sort of Louise's predicament and that idea that it's not about fate or not being able to, or like a lack of free will.
Yeah.
Because the future that she's seeing is the future where she has this ability.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's because, like, it's not like there's nothing to change.
Yeah, no.
So there's like the whole, I guess the concept is that when she told Jeremy Renner's character that, by the way, I know our daughter's going to die of this horrible disease.
Yeah.
He was like, well, fuck you. Why did we have this?
Yeah.
If you knew this, like, why did we do that?
I could have sworn that was a scene in the movie and I misremember. And I'm apparently misremembering because you don't see it. You're left to surmise it, which is even more powerful because you can imagine his reaction. I can imagine, like, that's an a very interesting conversation. You don't see it, but I think imagining it is even more interesting.
Yeah.
And what's even more interesting is when you figure that she also must have known that she would have had that conversation and that he would have left.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. She knows she's divorced at some point.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, I see why I was divorced now. Okay.
And it's the way that she plays it in the scene with the general at the party.
Oh, yeah, General Shang. I like him.
And she is simultaneously learning and remembering having learned all this stuff. And she does it so well. And I was going to say, I'm almost glad that we didn't get the actual argument scene in the film because Jeremy Renner, from what I've seen of him in, isn't a bad actor by any stretch, but I don't know that he would have had that scene in him.
No, and Amy Adams is just like acting her ass off all over the place in this film.
Yeah,
like,
she's so good.
Jeremy Renner's fine, but like let's focus on what's good here. Like,
well,
really good. Speaking of that scene with was it the general?
Yeah.
Where she is then speaking in Mandarin, and I don't know if they actually if it's actually her. I mean, I feel like it must be, but to my completely untrained ear, it sounded like she was doing a really good job of saying what he was saying.
That's a good point.
So I thought that whatever, maybe Amy Adams is fluent in Mandarin Chinese. I have no idea, but
really good dialogue coach.
I was gonna say, assuming she isn't, then they had a really good dialogue coach on this.
Also just flights of linguists on this movie.
Oh yeah, they must have. It must have been what an interesting project to get to work on. You know,
I knew a linguist. He
worked
a
cunning linguist.
And that's a special kind of weird intersection of science and the humanities, and it's like every fucking discipline practically. And I don't know the extent of how crazy it can get, but I just imagine all these linguists just sitting around on set together. And it's did they all just get along and nerd out, or did they have huge fucking furniture-breaking arguments over diphthongs?
Ooh. Some of them speaking that stupid made-up bullshit. What's that one called? You know the one I mean?
Esperanto?
Thank you.
Esperanto.
Didn't Shatner do a whole movie in Esperanto?
I was just thinking of William Shatner as well.
Yeah. And doesn't I think Wesley knows it. What's his real name?
Oh, really?
What's
Will Wheaton?
Thank you. Yes. That might have been a joke.
The actor knows it?
That might have been a joke, though. I think he says it on The Big Bang Theory, so I don't know if it's true.
I don't know. That is real life
documentary.
Accurate. Yeah, Will Wheaton.
He is playing himself, so it must be him.
Yes, that's that thing. I don't know if it's a joke they threw in, or if it's it's really a fact about him that they decided to run with because how wonderfully ridiculous. But you were saying earlier, Caitlin, one of the things I love about this film too is that Amy Adams is never not the focus.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The whole film is
her perspective.
Yeah, there's very few scenes that she's not in.
Or at least guiding those scenes. When they're trying to find her, oh crap, she got away.
Yeah, I was going to say, one of the only ones where, really she's not is when that CIA jackwit realizes she's got his phone.
That guy sucked. Why is there always one of those guys in these fucking movies?
I mean, because the CIA... But also the CIA sucks. They're evil.
Yeah, for sure, for tension and because the CIA sucks. But, if women can't be president because they're too emotional, surely this fucking jackwagon would not be invited to the table for first contact. I mean,
that's the thing, and that's actually another thing I liked about this was this is exactly how humanity would fuck up first contact.
Totally.
We would put the military and the intelligence agencies in charge.
We would in fact only have this guy plus Pete Hegseth plus whoever else is bad, all of them, and they would not bother inviting. Amy Adams, they would invite RFK Jr., who would be actually, the brainworm in my head knows how to talk to
maybe they
aliens.
like raw milk on that ship.
I bet they love raw milk. Oh my god, and then he gives them raw milk and they all die.
Yep.
And on the one hand, it sucks because humanity never gets to learn that great lesson of if we all work together, we can be great. But they do scare the living fuck out of aliens for, light years around, so nobody fucks with us again for a couple millennia.
There's this whole... I used to get these on TikTok all the time. There's a whole genre of speculative fiction, sci-fi, it's called Humanity Fuck Yeah. And it is terrible. It is like really poorly done.
'Cause it sounds
like
great.
And like the whole premise is it's like sci-fi stories told from the perspective of future peoples, and they're usually told by like from alien perspectives, and it's all aliens talking about how fearsome and mighty the humans are. And
yeah, right.
And like I used to get these like, and it's always like, oh, the humans, they are using something, they've somehow managed to harness the power of the atom to destroy us. It's always the most ridiculous bullshit.
I wish we had thought of that while we were making up, faster than light travel.
Yeah, because they're always like super advanced aliens,
but they don't have
humanity.
They haven't got the.
They either don't have like some basic technology that humans have, or like humans are just so great and compassionate.
Look at that!
Like,
they invented
we were
going to
invade them, but then they wowed us with their niceness.
And the clapper. I think it was the clapper that really.
Oh, that's a good one.
Them.
Do you know
that.
who in the Star Trek universe though writes a lot of humanity fuck yeah fan fiction? Shran.
Oh yeah, totally. But yeah, and fan fiction is really the best way to describe it.
See, it's funny. I've had several attempts that I've just not followed through on because I could never really run with it. But always I had this idea of like, humanity, of course, is still quite young. And like the planet was the purview of the dinosaurs for millions of years.
Oh, yeah.
And I just always thought, wouldn't it be funny? We finally get to space. We finally meet other species and we are so far behind the curve. Because all these other species didn't have a massive extinction event. So they're literally millions of years ahead of us. And they just look at us and they're like, who the fuck are you dorks?
Like hazing you in college or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's really what would happen too.
Yeah.
Like there's that whole, what is it? The dark forest theory about like what, or like it's got to do with like why we don't encounter any alien signals. And it's because either there are no aliens, which is unlikely, or there are aliens, but there's like a great filter, and like all the ones that would be powerful enough to contact us have wiped themselves out in, nuclear wars or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Or like there's tons of aliens and they're just so advanced that they don't even give a shit about us. And like our instruments are not capable of detecting their signals.
Yeah.
Well, because honestly, if they're that advanced, they probably have seen what angry little monsters we are. And they're probably just like, you know what? Let's give them, what do you think? 5,000-6,000 years? We'll come back. They'll be gone.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically, it's reasonable to assume they might have their version of the Prime Directive.
I mean, I think the most likely explanation is that space is very fucking big.
Yeah.
And we're a tiny planet who's barely been sending signals into space for less than 100 years.
Yeah.
And like those signals have reached fucking nowhere yet.
No.
So
didn't Voyager recently break another major barrier? I thought I saw something about that the other day.
I mean, I think
Voyager is a fake ship from a TV show.
Yeah.
Like the Voyager space probes.
Oh yeah, where'd it go?
I think it did like another like major milestone thing recently, but I don't quite remember.
I mean, I think it's going to take like, even at its speed.
Oh yeah, no, it's
still going to take like 300 years to traverse the Oort cloud.
Yeah.
Which is like
huge.
The edge of the solar system.
But it's not just like, there's not like an edge. It's a massive space.
Yeah, I mean, the point is, it's not even remotely close to interstellar space
no, not at all.
Yet.
Anyway, sorry, we're on space movie. But yeah, Amy Adams, the fact that, she remains the central figure, which is great, because I think, a worse version of this film would definitely have like had Jeremy Renner be the more active partner in this. And like, you get the sense like he is doing a lot of work. We just don't see it though, because this isn't his story. It's Amy Adams' fucking story.
Yeah, we don't even see their romance at all.
No.
We just left to assume it at the end.
Yeah, so I appreciate that it focuses on her, it follows her. Yeah, I'm sure there was probably at least some pressure from the studio, like, hey, he was in like the Avengers. Could you use him more? And they were like, no.
I don't even know if that came up because like it's not that story, and I don't think there was that kind of meddling.
Yeah, I really do get the sense.
Book.
I don't know why, but somehow maybe it's like his Canadian charm, but studios seem to just let Denis do whatever the fuck he wants.
Yeah, I mean,
without a lot of meddling.
Well, I don't think anybody was like begging them to use Jeremy Renner more. I mean, were they like, haven't you seen he is in Avengers? And it's like, yeah, and he's just about as useful in that as he is in this. So we're giving him actually equal screen time.
I will never underestimate, or I will never assume there isn't at least one executive in a room who isn't a fucking moron. So I'd like to think they didn't bug him.
But it does like raise the question to me, right? So you see movies like this. You know, this is kind of a standalone. I mean, it is an adaptation. It's not an original, but it's a standalone film. It's not a franchise. It's not. I mean, it's got marketable names in it. It's got Saw Gerrera. It's got Jeremy Hawkeye and everything. But then
Hawkeye.
But then you see
Abbott and Costello. Holy shit, they got him.
I know, right? They're big names.
Abbott and Costello meet Louise.
But like for all intents and purposes, it's kind of it's its own little thing.
Yeah.
And then you have other films that Denny has done, which are like, you know, the Blade Runner, right? Phenomenal.
Dune.
The Dune and Dune.
Wait, the original Blade Runner?
No, the 2049.
The 2049.
Oh. And new Dune, obviously.
And the new Dune films, and which are like huge marketable IPs.
Yeah.
That they also kind of just let him do his thing.
Well, and that's why I'm really interested, because like I said a few weeks ago, I don't know if it was on air or not, his next project after Dune 3 is the next James Bond picture.
Whoa.
Interesting.
Wow.
That'll be interesting, yeah, because I feel like for whatever reason, studio executives are just like, yeah, he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
Well,
which really makes me wonder why so many films suck.
Imagine trying to tell him how to do Dune without him just pointing and saying, have you seen what David Lynch did? I don't know. I know he's not French. I know he's Canadian. French-Canadian.
French-Canadian. That tracks.
I will say, too, like, for the first, 45 minutes, hour, however long it is, you know, I didn't sit there with a timer and figure out when the shift happened, but for the first stretch of the movie, I'm sitting there going, okay, now I understand why they gave him Blade Runner. Because the first while of that movie is to me, as I've often said about the original Blade Runner, a mood.
Yeah.
And it makes me even sadder that I didn't like his Blade Runner that much.
I like large parts of that movie. So.
I know a lot of people
I think I like that one better than the original.
I should see it then, because I don't.
Oh, you haven't seen it? I thought you'd seen it.
No, I've seen the original and I didn't care for it.
Listen, it's got Ryan Gosling being a cutie pie.
Listen, all right. Well,
one thing I would say
Ryan
though,
Gosling's all right. I guess I could get into that.
Because I feel like, I think these are the only 4 movies of his that I've seen, and I know he's got other ones that are very popular that I should go watch now, because all of them to me are classics. But one of the things that strikes me, and I think I talked about this when we talked about Dune, is the sheer scale that he's able to convey of things.
I love that you see, it takes time. It takes many people on this project. You see the screens of all the people on this project too.
Well, and also just like going into, the whole sequence when when Louise first enters the shell.
Oh yeah, that's a cool scene.
And it takes for fucking ever. It's a long scene.
Yeah.
But it's riveting, it's totally riveting. And you're right there with her. And like when that gravity change happens, it's very cool. And it's just like, wow.
They were really effective at, Amy Adams was doing a really good job of keeping the tension up.
Yeah.
I think if it had been as slow as it was without feeling her panic leaking into me, you know what I mean? You really get invested, you're really in it at that point. And it really did it just made it very engaging. And it's very I'm not good at watching movies anymore because it's just difficult for me to focus on less than 6 things at once. But it definitely had my attention at that point.
There was this wonderfully done sense of just dread for the first, basically up until they actually make first contact and you realize these guys seem okay. It's not like a horror movie thing. It's not like a thriller thing. It's just this sense of
it's pure alien.
Yeah, but even before they get there, like when she's just living her life watching the news, like I hate to fucking invoke this because it is invoked way too easily, but it really just, when Amy Adams is probably roughly our age, and, when the student says, doctor, whatever, can you turn on a news channel? I'm like, this bitch is having flashbacks to 9/11.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
And then it's like she turns it on, it's like, oh, no, it's fucking aliens. And
it's worse in a way.
Yeah, in our age, like anyone our age is going to see like someone's like, oh God, turn on the news. You're going to be thinking terrorism or World War III, not Jesus Christ aliens. But there is that sense of it. Like, I remember watching it just being like, oh, I hate how this reminds me of feeling. Because it's like, I remember that day, like going home, fucking jets overhead, even here. Nowhere near New York or Washington. Like, and just...
Well, we're not that far from New York.
But still, but like just going home and just watching the news for, I think, 2 days straight.
Oh my God. Non-stop.
Yeah, like
all the time.
If I was home, I was watching the news. It sucked. And...
especially in the beginning, because like the first day we were all fucking glued to it.
Yeah.
And all they did was keep repeating the same shit.
Because there was...
showing the footage. Well, I know they didn't have any information. But it's like, how many times did I have to watch the planes hit the buildings that day? Like, just because, like, they were like, well, this is what we've got. What do you think of that? Like, oh, well, it still sucks. Thanks.
And, I don't know if Denis was trying to invoke that or if it's just a result of existing in that world, but he nailed that feeling of, like, something has happened. We do not know how to feel, so we're just gonna exist.
You know what is fucking perfect in that scene in the classroom, too, is... you don't see the screen.
Nope.
You see, she turns it on, and you just watch her reaction and listen to the voices of the newscasters saying something, and you watch her and the classmates just with this utter stupefaction on their faces.
Yeah.
Of like that moment, and when they even turn back to the screen and we kind of see it in the background, it's just the newscasters. You don't ever see even the ships until much, much later.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is some really great storytelling because it's about the characters first.
Yeah. It was, we don't see the screen, and neither do the students, actually. That's one thing I thought. It's like, because of the way the shot was composed. Right she's smack dab in the middle of the screen.
Dr. Adams, could you, down in front, you're a better door than a window, ma'am.
God, that actually reminds me, to my own point, like, I remember... when Michael Jackson died, I swear this will tie in, we were at a restaurant.
And we were out. I was just going to say, we were out to dinner.
People were suddenly, like, rushing over to a television. And again, my first thought was like, oh no, what fucking happened? Like, it was almost a relief.
Who dropped the bomb?
Yeah, it was a relief that it was just a celebrity that had died. I was like, could you people please not overreact to that level? Yeah. Jesus, it's like 2006 or 8 or... it's too soon.
Yeah.
But yeah, that whole opening, like, and this is actually where I had mentioned, I don't know if it's in the recording, it probably isn't, but WALL-E, I was thinking of WALL-E so much, because WALL-E does this amazing thing where it's like, for the first 45 minutes, it's this bizarre, dialogue-less...
yeah, it's a dumb show.
Almost indie film. It's so good. And then it turns into a normal movie.
Yeah.
And it somehow manages to be both and not feel jarring. And this similarly goes from just like a mood and this sort of languid thing and a sense and dread, and then very slowly becomes more of a movie. I think that the switch is less hard than it is with WALL-E. But like at some point you're kind of like, oh yeah, this is just a more traditional kind of movie now, while still being very complicated in a way. But like it feels more like, okay, there's like plot stuff's happening, characterization. And again, it does it without it feeling jarring, with it still feeling like a singular piece, which is fucking hard. Like, I think this and WALL-E are probably two of the only movies I can think of that switches genre partway through, and you're like, no, this is fine.
Watch Sunshine. Sunshine switches genre in an amazing way.
Like, I really cannot overstate how fucking good this was.
I really liked it, and as we know, I am generally unwilling to admit when I like sci-fi things, especially if there's just aliens involved.
I mean, it helps that there's such...
because you think it's an invasion for so much of it. You think, oh God, especially when the military's involved. People are ready to throw fucking spears and shit at it. When they say offer weapon, it's tense. And you're like, oh God.
Yeah.
There's actually... Has anyone here played or watched anyone play a game called Control?
I don't think so.
No, it's on my list of games that I'm interested in, but I haven't actually played it.
I played most of it when it first came out, and then I hit a difficulty spike. And it was before they patched in difficulty settings, so I kind of walked away. But up until that point, it's a fucking amazing game. And it's very, like, it's super paranormal. Like, there's pretense to science fiction, but it's not, which is why I have not brought it up for any of our blogs. But there's these otherworldly beings you talk to. They're definitely cosmic entities in, like, the Lovecraft sense. And you see their subtitles. And frequently in the subtitles, they'll be, like, words, but like with a slash. Like it could be either or, and it's not clear.
Ooh, that's interesting.
Oh, that's cool.
And I got a lot of sense of that. You know, I feel like, you know, you would have something. I don't think this isn't a line in the game from what I recall, but like you would have something like take weapon / tool and go from there. And it invoked that very strongly with me. Fantastic.
Sorry, go ahead.
Fantastic game, great atmosphere, delightful lore. I have to finish it because they just announced the sequel.
Ooh.
Cool. Yeah, this movie makes language so fucking interesting in a way that, you know, I don't usually think about, like, the written language. And, you know, because they're using, I didn't write down the name that they use, semiogram or something like that.
Yeah.
Where it's not, it doesn't translate to their oral speech, which is considered a different language. In the novella they call it heptapod A and heptapod B, the written language versus the spoken language, or the fluttery noises that they make language. Because in the movie, they do it perfectly in that they write the whole thing at once with that wispy shit.
Yeah.
Because it all has to happen at once. It's not a sentence in any kind of order. It's something that they know what the whole sentence is going to say before they even start writing it. So they already have, and it's such little moments like that are like hints to what's going on are so smart.
Well, and I think, you know, they were doing something very similar with the 10C and how, you know, they have to emit their whole fart.
Yeah.
And then illuminate certain parts of it in sequence.
Yeah.
But, you know, it all kind of has to be, the sentence has to be formed at the time they poop it out.
Yeah.
Okay, you did say fart. I was like, what?
Yeah, that...
Of course he did.
Yeah.
The revelation in the novella is very good because they realize, well, we've seen their sentences, which are like just the full shape of those like ring things that in the movie, the equivalent of that. But we haven't seen how they write it in real time. And they ask the aliens, which in the novella, their names are Flapper and Raspberry, which is very funny to me. I do love Abbott and Costello, but Flapper and Raspberry is very cute. And they notice that the way that they start the first shape that they draw incorporates clauses that are like all over what would be a linear sentence. And like, they knew what they were writing from the beginning. And in their spoken language, the order doesn't matter. Like they'll repeat a sentence, and all the noises are in a different order each time because the order to them doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's so cool.
Yeah, and I also, so there's one scene in the film which, I don't know, it irked me a little bit. I mean, I like the scene. What I didn't like is Saw Gerrera and how he kind of has the idiot ball for a minute. It's the scene where it's early, after they're already there, and Saw Gerrera's like, why don't you just ask them why they're here? Yeah. And Amy Adams has to break down, like, no, we don't even know
if they know what questions are.
Yeah, we have to like break. And
what does you mean? They don't know.
Singular versus you as a group.
I think that was a really interesting scene.
Joe Alien.
Yeah. The thing that irked me was just like, yeah, obviously.
Yeah, it was definitely
obviously Saw. It
was very much like Rillick having to be the audience surrogate there. But again,
a little bit.
Glad they did it though, because it really was like fascinating. Because like, of course, if you were a linguist, this is the sort of shit you would think about. But like, for me, it was like a really interesting insight.
Well, when he was like, "Yeah, you're teaching these like baby words," it's like, Saw, did you not take a language in high school? They don't.
You might not have.
Yeah, they don't start you with like because I remember chafing against that so much when I was first taking another language. It's like I can only say the most basic dumb shit, but that's how you have to teach it to me.
Yeah. Well, and also, there's the earlier scene when he goes to hire her originally, and he's like, oh, you were able to translate the Farsi pretty easily. She's like, yeah, because I fucking know Farsi.
Yeah, because it's an extant language, you moron.
Yeah, this movie is definitely, and I do not have, this is not a complaint for me. This is very much like a good, but it's like, yeah, no, the military and the CIA are fucking idiots, which again, so much fucking fiction fetishizes the military. Like, yes, good, make them morons because they fucking are. But yeah, occasionally you're just like, okay, come on now. The one thing
movie like this, you can't, because like, I just kind of sort of feel like if an alien race comes and they're willing to like stick around and not just like shoot first and ask questions later, then like I think that you have like a moral responsibility and obligation to try to do a first contact and not just be a douchebag.
Yeah,
like.
I will say the one thing, since we are talking about Forrest Whitaker's character, the one problem I did have with this picture, why was he doing like a Hollywood Boston accent?
Yeah, I didn't understand that either.
That really just like, he would say things. I'm like, who said, hey, Forrest, could you be from Boston, but in like the most stereotypical way?
Okay, but here's the thing. He is an actor. This may have been a choice.
Right, but why?
Like the director, I don't know.
Maybe Denny doesn't
Forrest
have the
Whitaker
ear for the Boston accent.
I never got to play a Bostonian before.
Well, I think I have an explanation. Because the whole theme of the movie was about an indecipherable language, they figured having him speak Boston would help convey that point.
You guys saw that Jimmy Fallon sketch of Matt Damon and Ben Affleck.
I actually didn't yet.
I saw it and I shared it.
It's stupid, and it's the simplest thing in the world, and yet you watch. I'm like, I'll watch this for the first couple cities, or watch this until they hit my town.
I watched it to the end because I've
watched it 3 times. It's great.
I've only watched it once. But
again, incomprehensible like Boston accent, and then we'll get back to this picture. Catch Me If You Can, which is a delightful film. I enjoy it.
It's a good movie.
Oh, Tom Hanks in that?
Again, for some reason, Tom Hanks, Hollywood Boston accent. But also, I think the only movie I've ever seen Tom Hanks drop an F-bomb in, so...
Pretty sure he does that in Toy Story a lot.
Yeah, that's true.
Fucking Buzz,
friend, right?
I don't like that guy.
It's friend, right? Because you've got a friend in me. Can we get an edit of that Randy Newman song? You've got a beep in me.
No.
Oh my god.
Oh, you killed him.
He'll never be on Cameo because he doesn't need to be. But if Tom Hanks was ever on Cameo, I would pay whatever he wanted for him to do the like soliloquy that Keanu Reeves does in The Wasteland in Johnny Mnemonic, where he's...
I want a cold Mexican beer!
Sorry.
$10,000 a night prostitute! Or hooker! He says hooker!
Oh, this has been Tom Hanks.
Amazing. Tom Hanks would be fucking great at that.
But that's not this movie. This movie, though, is this movie. And,
yeah, why wasn't Keanu Reeves in this movie?
There was a very limited cast in this movie. Like literally, I have 5 names, and most of them are Amy Adams.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a good cast, right? So you got Amy Adams, you got Hawkeye, you got Forrest Whitaker, we got was it Michael Stuhlbarg is the CIA guy.
For a minute, I thought he might have been Joaquin Phoenix. Like when I first saw him, I was like, "Is this Joaquin Phoenix? What's going on here?"
They do kind of have he kind of has that look. No, he's great. He's been in a bunch of stuff. He was in a movie, one of my favorite Coen Brothers movies,
Miller's Crossing.
A Serious Man.
I was like, what's Jake's favorite Coen Brothers movie?
Yeah, no, Miller's Crossing. Yeah, I said one of my favorite Coen Brothers. I like all the Coen Brothers movies that nobody else likes.
Are they the ones that did No Country for Old Men?
Yep.
Is that the one with Javier Bardem?
Yes.
Okay, great. I'm all caught up.
They also did probably their biggest hits, The Big Lebowski, I would imagine.
Oh, they did The Big Lebowski too? That makes sense.
Yeah. Aren't they also Fargo?
Yeah.
Oh, Fargo. Well, that's a great movie too.
One of my favorites, Sucker Proxy.
They just do phenomenal film. They're another. I mean, although I don't think they're working together anymore. I think they're each doing their own thing now.
Yeah, I saw an article about it. They haven't broken up, quote unquote. They just each were like, "I'm going to do this project right now." So they'll probably do something again together someday.
Barton fucking Fink, one of my faves.
Yeah. But
Anyway,
Hudsucker Proxy.
It's all fun and games until they key and peel themselves, and like one of them makes like an incredible award-winning film, and one of them is like in Mike Myers' show, The Pentaveret. You know what I mean?
Well, the thing is, they have both
dangerous
already made multiple. Anyway, yeah. See, I wasn't familiar with him. Like I didn't know his face, but perfect casting of just like. You knew, even if before they tell you he's CIA and this, you just look at the guy, you're like, okay, you've got big Paul Reiser and Aliens energy. I already know you.
That's
he also plays Andrew Rothstein. Is that Andrew Rothstein on in the show Boardwalk Empire. He's like this like
that's that Steve Buscemi show, right? On HBO.
Steve Buscemi, yeah. Oh. But he plays like he's a real life guy, Rothstein, and he's like known for being like kind of an eccentric gangster. Teetotaler, just kind of a weird dude.
Oh, he's that guy. Yes, you're right.
Yeah,
that
he's the milk guy.
I'm sorry, the milk guy?
He like everybody else is, because that show is like a prohibition show and everyone's drinking booze all the time.
And he's just drinking milk?
And he just drinks milk. So he's a weird dude. But anyway,
based on a real guy.
So based on a real guy. But I really like that actor.
Yeah, he was great.
Yeah, well, he seemed like a real cunt, so good for him. He did a great job.
The actor that played the general, he's been in stuff too.
He was immediately familiar, but I
just don't know why.
I meant to look him up.
I'm going to mispronounce the name because I don't know enough Chinese, or any Chinese, really. Si Ma?
Okay.
Wasn't he in... Was he in Rush Hour? No. Yes? He might have been in Rush Hour.
I mean, there is the internet.
I know. My phone is over there. I don't want to type because I don't want to make noise.
Here, I'll look it up.
While you guys are looking that up, they also, Denis made the specific choice that even though like there are like those scenes where they translate what the heptapods are saying in captioning, he decided specifically, I'm not going to translate on the screen what Shang's wife's dying words are. So I think Jake was even looking like you turned the captions on at the point because we were listening with it off. And it doesn't translate.
And it just gave you an anglicized version of what she was saying?
Not even that. It was just nothing.
No, it didn't even show up.
Yeah. Do you guys want to know what the dying words were?
Yes, definitely. I was just going to say, do we know what it is? I mean,
I like not knowing. Yeah. What is it?
Chris, you can tune out, and then when they get this part of the edit, tune out again.
Sure, it'll turn out fine.
This, So anyway, the actor here, the guy that plays Shang, he's been in a ton of stuff, but
he was in Rush Hours 1 and 3.
Yeah, so he's Su Young's dad.
Yeah, but a lot, like he's basically, I think he just is a prolific character actor. He just pops up in tons of stuff as like one episode here, one episode there.
RoboCop 2.
The underrated RoboCop 2.
I didn't hate RoboCop 2. I think people
convinced
me that it was going to be like them taking the idea and getting it wrong, but no, I think it was a continuation in a good way.
He's apparently in a TNG as a physiologist in Samaritan Snare.
Wow.
What if he's just like a background actor?
Probably.
He's not one of the pack lads, is he?
No.
He's in something called Jake 2.0, Jake.
Yeah, well, I'm the original.
The definite article, you might say. Anyway, sorry, Ames, you were going to tell us her dying words.
Yeah, so the dying words are, in war, there are no winners, only widows.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah, and I could see that changing Shang's mind, so very cool.
It's a good line.
Her dying words were, war never changes.
You see,
basically, that's the more literary version of that.
The twist was that when they revealed who Amy Adams' husband was, it was going to be Shang.
No.
Her own dying words.
My own dying words. Oh, wow, yeah, because you would know them. That's interesting.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was thinking about. Like, if you don't... This is going to get really weird. If you don't perceive time linearly, do you, from your own perception, ever die?
Oh, that's interesting.
Whoa.
Like, because I was thinking that, like, Abbott presumably knew he was going to die on this mission.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The whole time.
But like,
but like you said, if they don't believe in like, if they don't have,
it's not even belief. We know they don't. They don't. Oh, fate. I think yeah. Like I thought about that and I was like, oh, I gotta sit down and stop thinking about this because my brain already hurts.
Yeah.
One thing that's missing from this that I kind of wish There were like some nod to that you see in the novella in an interesting way is there are like many other linguists involved studying this language. And there's a point in the novella where Louise and one of the other linguists is having a conversation after she's already kind of like decoded the whole language equals time thing.
Yeah.
And she's narrating the scene saying like, and then the other linguist, said in his script, because he already also knew what he was going to say. And you think like, does anyone else, do the other linguists also have this gift?
Oh, that's interesting.
Well, I think, they develop it as they learn the language, it seems like.
I guess so it would depend on how good of a job they're doing and doing what she's doing, right? She's the only one who's really doing it.
Yeah, because they do a good job of showing, like, the very, very first time she, like, notices something in one of the symbols is when you see the first flash forward. And it's so perfectly done that when you look back at it in retrospect, you're like, oh, that's why that's there, because she just deciphered a thing. But she doesn't, like, it doesn't register to the audience that it's her having a flash forward or even a flashback. It just registers as a thing that you're seeing in the movie.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, no, again, it's such a brilliant use of just this old convention of the flashback and being like, guess what, motherfucker? It wasn't.
Yeah. Yeah, and I do like the whole concept of, this language is something that literally rewires your brain if you learn it.
Yeah.
And I'm really, it's a kind of like Chang's wife's dying words. I don't need the answer, but I am very like, what is it that humanity does in 3,000 years to help the heptapods?
I was getting that. That was my thing. It's like, oh, you're going to help us in 3,000 years. Like, are these motherfuckers just Daniels?
No.
But not obnoxious?
Well, the other thing, I guess, in order to know... Okay.
That's why she has to teach people the language.
Well, yes. But no, I'm thinking... So we were just saying how, Abbott must have known he was going to die. If they know what's going to happen in 3,000 years, then do they just have a view of all time?
Well, here's the other thing, because I was thinking about this, is like, we don't know how long a heptapod lives if it's not exploded.
That's true.
They could very
well live over 3,000 years. That's true.
But even if they don't live that long, like, so imagine, right? I want a story about my great-grandfather. That's got to go through a couple different people, permutations, generations, but like, I'm not sure how to explain this, but like,
so you think like the stories from the future pass backwards through generations?
Theory could.
Oh, that's fascinating.
And it's like, and there's less.
You only would remember your own experiences in this kind of scenario,
right?
Right, but if like another heptapod tells you in the future about, oh, this time that my great descendant, my great grandson was saved by the humans.
They don't have family trees; they have family constellations.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like, but also like there's the game of telephone is lessened because like, because as you even remember your own stories, they get fucked by time.
Yeah.
And you're re-remembering them the way the brain works. But like, if you can essentially have an experience and then tell your son about it as you're experiencing it and as you're telling him about it. And he can then do the same thing for his son and so forth and so on. So it's like everyone is getting the experience live. And like you said, Jake, it can go backwards too.
Yeah. So you're not telling your son, you're telling your father.
Yeah.
And he's telling his father. And yeah.
So like, even without knowing how long they live, because of the nature of the way they experience time and each other, like it's so fucking like, Jesus, I gotta stop.
I'm so glad they did it this way because like the language is the tool. The language is the gift that the heptapods give them. Like they didn't know the term tool versus weapon, and that was interesting. But I also read like an earlier version of the script, and I'm so glad they didn't do this because it would have been stupid. It would have been the easy cop-outy science fiction ending, which would have been the aliens giving the Earthling blueprints for a ship that in 3,000 years they can come save them. Boring. I'm so glad they made it this interesting thought experiment instead.
Yeah. And I like not knowing what it is. It, because I think just our natural assumption, because we're fucking monkeys and monkeys are violent, was like, oh yeah, there's probably going to be some sort of conflict they need humanity for. Or it's like, well, no, actually, it's just in 3,000 years, there's going to be this physician descended from one of you people that cures this horrible disease.
Could be, yeah, exactly.
Like
in 3,000 years, we're going to forget the location of our car keys to our spaceship, and humanity is going to need to remember it.
Yeah, like he said, and I admit it myself, my first thought was fucking Daniels in the Temporal Cold War, but it could be something perfectly benign. Well, not benign, but again,
damn. Daniels has tainted everything.
He really.
Before we can ask, we need to understand we need to make sure that they understand the concept of a question before we ask, dude, where's my car?
Very good, Jake.
Yeah, a lot of this, because I know Louise tells the kangaroo story, which turns out to be a lie anyway, which is a good touch. I like that.
I love that because it felt fake. So I was glad it was.
Yeah, so that's good. But there was I
feel like that's an actual, like, apocryphal thing, though. Like, that's not something that was made up for this movie. I think that's an actual thing that people thought for some period of time.
Oh,
fair enough.
So funny. I'm glad she says it's a lie then.
Yeah, me too.
There is an interesting movie that I saw in college. It's an Aboriginal Australian movie called Barbecue Area. And it's flipped, in which the Aboriginal Australians are the ones colonizing a European settlement. And they ask them, what is this place called? And the Europeans are like, we're just in a barbecue area. And they're like, barbecue area. And then the rest of the movie is kind of like, it's a kind of top-down look at like what colonization is like to the people being colonized. But that one little line it's so indicative of people not communicating in this interesting way, and it reminded me of this movie a bit.
There is a I am almost positive I've told this story before, but it really does apply here. The reason we call the Greeks the Greeks.
Yes, you've told this before.
And not, the Hellenes or Hellenes, for anyone who maybe didn't hear that episode or has forgotten, is because the first Greeks that the Romans encountered were a group called the Graeci. And the Romans meet them like, so who are you? And they go, we're the Graeci. And then later they meet other people speaking the same language. And they go, more Graeci. And they're like, what? No, that's not. Oh, they left.
We're from Athens. Oh.
So yeah, same kind of idea. Like, this shit does actually happen.
It's like, you're all Bostonians when you say that to like someone in Miami or something. No, I mean, the language isn't that similar, but.
Dear. Yeah.
I do kind of wish in this film that we had seen any of the other scientists or linguists. Yeah, well, there were so many, like you were saying in the book, there's lots of other linguists that are participating and involved in this. But in this one, like, Amy Adams really is the Michael Burnham of linguists.
Somehow it didn't bother me because you could see that there were definitely other people doing it. Like, you meet her team, you never learn any of their names. That's expected.
It's Detmer and Owo and Reese.
And they're going to tell you one line about their backstory each.
Yum yum.
That was the CIA guy.
But just the presence of like the screens when you see like, okay, here's the UK team, here's the China team, here's the team in the middle of the fucking Indian Ocean, evidently.
How did they get into the damn bean?
Oh, they got a big ship.
Yeah. They very much wanted it to be her picture, so I get that. And the impression they give you, and I may be misinterpreting, is that like she's probably, the impression they give you is she's further along than everyone else, so she's probably a little more time sensitive. I kind of wonder if that poor Russian bastard who got blasted was also starting to like...
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Crack it, which was part of the reason he tried so hard.
Maybe he also knew he was going to die because he'd already learned the language.
Yep.
Yeah, there's also an interesting connection with another film that we watched, Contact, here, where we have, in Contact, we had Jake
we didn't
Busey.
watch it for this show. Jake and I have seen it in general. I don't know.
Oh, we didn't watch it? We didn't do a...
We haven't done
we didn't
Contact,
do a 10-4? Oh, we should. For some reason, I thought we had.
We talk about it a lot. I have seen it, but not in a very long time.
It is quite good.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, spoiler alert.
I have not seen it.
This is another one where there's aliens, and they seem benign, but there's, of course, people that are like, maybe it's not benign.
Yeah.
Right. Do we trust this machine they're asking us to build? Ugh.
Yeah. And then there's also like the whole religious component, which kind of comes up a bit in this. But you have our like kind of military grunt guy.
Jake Busey?
Well, yeah, but he's in that he's like a religious guy. But
right, I'm combining his character from Starship Troopers.
Yeah. No. In that movie, he's a religious fanatic. But in this movie, we have our military guy,
that fucking turd,
who's like, here's the weapon thing, and it really goes to his head, and he's like, well, I guess we got to blow him up now.
Well, and they did a good job of he's there constantly, and they build him like from the minute he's on the phone with his wife freaking out, you're like, oh, and I thought, oh, and here's our fucking Tarka, who's gonna ruin everything.
Totally.
Turns out I think his name is Marks, but I thought of him as Tarka for the remainder of the picture.
Marka.
And then he's overhearing his other douchebag friend watching Alex Jones, and it's like
very unsubtly too.
Yeah, it's like, okay, so first his wife's freaking him out, now he's listening to right-wing fucking YouTube, like fucking Tarka.
Yep. Yeah, and then of course him and his Proud Boys go out there and set some bombs.
Yep.
And then, go down evidently in a blaze of glory, shooting at other soldiers.
Yeah.
Extremely cool.
Yeah.
I do kind of want that weird grab room thing to be a Disney experience. I think they could get it off the ground.
Possibly.
Literally.
Yeah, I think.
But also,
that was the thing I thought of, though. It's because obviously we're comparing it a lot to season 4, because holy shit, season 4, I know there's a proud Star Trek. Yeah, sorry. I know there's a proud Star Trek tradition of paying tribute in big scare quotes to existing media. I mean, the number of times Ames has said, I read a story or I watched a film or this or that because it inspired, quote unquote, this episode. So, it's a grand tradition, but Jesus Christ, season 4 Discovery, change more of the homework. But, the big difference here, of course, is that the heptapods interpret time differently. An issue with 10C is they don't have a concept of individuality in the same way, and that isn't an issue here. The heptapods get inherently we know that this wasn't all of you, this was one douchebag and his idiot friends, we're still willing to talk, but we only want to talk to Amy Adams.
Ditto. Yeah, in comparing this to Contact, I remember my first time I watched this movie, coming away from it feeling almost a little angry that it didn't make as much sense, that the first word you try to teach the aliens is human. When it should be more easier to teach them a universal constant like math, the concept of 1 + 1 = 2 is a much more easy thing to communicate, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Although that was supposed to be Jeremy Renner's whole role there was to teach them
physics. Yeah, he was a physicist.
It does sound like they didn't get into it in depth, but it sounds like even their conception of math might be slightly different.
Yeah, because which is an interesting thing about them is that 1 + 1 = 2. They know that in all simultaneously. They don't have to do equations because they know what the answer is going to be. One interesting thing, I wish they had incorporated this into the movie because it would have given Jeremy Renner something to do. And how much do you guys know about Fermat's principle of least time?
Wait, nope. Is this the same Fermat with the fucking theorem?
Isn't it Fermat?
Fermat? Is it? I've only seen it written, so my bad.
Fair enough. No, I mean, I feel like I've heard it pronounced Fermat, so it was the same person.
But wait, is it the Arcadia guy, or is this a different guy?
I've never seen Arcadia.
Well,
really?
Didn't Picard talk about it at one point?
I thought he said Fermat, but I don't know. But anyway,
I think Picard definitely said Fermat's last theorem.
Oh, okay, then I'm
I don't know if
thinking
it
of
might
the wrong person, or I've heard it pronounced wrong.
Let me teach you some physics real quick.
Yeah, go for it.
Super easy physics.
Barely an inconvenience.
Because there's a whole point where they're having so much trouble teaching physics to the aliens because the aliens don't learn things in that order.
Yeah,
and they don't understand why equations are interesting to these people. And the thing that Jeremy Renner's character, whose name is Gary in the book, but Ian in the movie, but fuck my face apparently, he says, so if light is going towards the surface of water, it enters it at an angle, and then water has a different consistency, a different speed that the light travels through, so it shifts.
Yep, and that's why when you look at something underwater, it's not where you think it looks like it should be.
Exactly, yeah. So he's teaching them that, and the aliens are getting it. And he's like, oh my god, this is something that they're actually getting because they know where the light's going to go based on the speed of light. whilst he's translating it from like the angle plus speed equals this, they're doing it backwards in that they know where the light's going to hit because that's where the light was always going to go.
Oh.
It's they explain it in a way in the book that makes it make sense because it's very difficult physics, but it's very cool that they did this fucking work.
I can see why it's not in the movie though, because
I think Jeremy Renner could have done it.
Oh yeah, no, but I think you've already, like, this film is already taking some really fucking advanced concepts and making them approachable. That might have been hard to make, like, mass audience approachable. I feel like that probably works better in text than it would in dialogue, maybe. I don't know.
I feel like I've seen plenty of science-y movies that explain, like even in Contact, they explain to you things that you're not going to understand. All you need to understand is that the characters know what it means. And this is important for them. And the math does check out kind of shit.
It is funny that they changed his name to Ian, because I remember thinking, like, I don't know, I hear Ian Scientist, my first thought is Ian Malcolm. I'm a little distracted.
Jurassic Park, exactly. I thought the same thing. Like, is he just Ian from Jurassic Park?
No, he is nowhere near as hot.
She's the future ex-Mrs. Dr. Mrs. Malcolm.
She
or whatever
is,
the fuck.
though.
That's true, she is!
Perfect. But no, Jeremy Renner could not pull off that, like, slinky, I'm injured look.
Yeah,
I'm picturing it. I'm trying to picture it.
Put it away, Jeremy Renner. Nobody wants to see that.
It is demented that in that pose, he is specifically like, oh, I'm close to death. It's like, what? Like, I think people forget he's supposed to be very badly injured because we're just focusing on his chest.
He's close to the little death.
That's the audience.
Oh, yeah. Well, whatever. I want it to be good for him also.
One other little change from the novel that I wanted to bring up, because I think this made it much more impactful in the movie. In the novel, the daughter dies in a rock climbing accident.
Oh.
In the movie, she gets a horrible disease and suffers. So I think that's why also, like, picturing the conversation that would have happened between Ian and Louise about you knew this was going to happen to our daughter, and when I said, let me put a baby in you, you said, okay. It's such an interesting conversation.
Want to make a baby?
Well,
but also, like, knowing that specifically she will suffer. That's the harder element. Like,
yeah. Well, and it's interesting because that adds a whole extra layer of, like, you can have the kid knowing they're doomed because of something completely out of your control, this disease.
Yeah.
It's another to have the kid and know that there's going to be this climbing accident that would be easier to maybe as a human being prevent.
Yeah, but she knowing the future is something she just embraces.
No.
Yeah, it's inevitable.
No, I know, but
it's not like Jumanji where you tell the parents don't go on this trip.
That's what it could be, though, in theory. Like, that adds a whole extra, like, thing. Like, in a way, that's almost worse. Because it's like, because you have to... In one reality, in one version of the story, you just consciously have a child that you know is going to die of a disease. In another, you consciously have a child you know is going to die in an accident that you do not try to prevent.
Okay, but here's my question, though. Like, just because someone's life is cut short, does that mean that they don't have a right to that life?
Well, and right, like that's the whole other thing.
Yeah, that's a whole other layer to the conversation, yeah.
And that's, that is a question that does come up a lot with the ethics of... now that we can kind of sequence the genome, you can theoretically find out once your kid is, like, a little bit along, like, will they have some sort of debilitating disease that could kill them early, and would you therefore just abort it? And that's a real question.
And I'm sure that there are plenty of people that would, but I just think that in the long run, that would have to be, like, incredibly damaging.
Yeah, well, that's why it's like any good science fiction, it puts a sort of science fiction twist on a real legitimate philosophical question, because we are at that point now as a species where we could, like even without the science fiction element, like, Amy Adams just exists in a world where she could have a kid, they could do a genetic test on the embryo and go, like, she's gonna probably get this fucking disease, do you want to still have, give birth to her?
Want to make a baby?
Yeah, it's that right there. It's like, all right, you know what, Jeremy? She is justified in leaving you later, even though you leave her.
The This whole conversation is reminding me. Have you ever heard of the antinatalists?
I think I have.
It's a like a movement, I guess. Unclear how tongue in cheek it may or may not be, but that any childbirth, that giving birth to anybody is inherently an unethical thing to do, because that person is you're basically fating somebody to have to suffer, to live.
I mean,
and eventually die.
Existence is terrible. I assure you.
And by definition, you cannot consent to being born.
Right.
So there's like some consent concerns there. I mean, it's kind of it's an interesting thought experiment, but I wouldn't say I subscribe to it.
Yeah, well, I feel like it's maybe one of those things that unfortunately people now take seriously, that was started as kind of like a, because, the whole Schrodinger's box thing was meant to be a critique of quantum theories, but now people actually use it as a, like, shorthand. I feel like it's maybe one of those things somebody was doing as kind of a play on, ethical debates, but now it's actually, well, wait a minute, though. But you reminded me of something I meant to bring up earlier with this whole, like, not perceiving time linearly thing and how you learn and all this. Like, on the one hand, a heptapod has to learn things, but also they always know them.
Whoa.
Like,
right?
It's
this is when I learned this.
Oh, I don't like that.
It's kind of like...
Did we actually have to teach them that? Did we have to teach them at all? Like, was there anything...
They never asked any questions.
They never asked any questions. Like there's all those scenes of Louise and Ian, like, teaching them words and human and teaching them their names, and they don't ever really need that information.
They're like, aren't these monkeys cute?
Well, I think
they do refer to her by name later, so I guess it is good that they know her name, but...
Well, I think what it comes down to probably is that they understand that while they aren't linear, we are.
Yeah.
So if anything,
right,
letting us teach them is actually them teaching us.
That's true.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, this is the fucking wormhole aliens.
Yay!
But more complicated.
What the fuck is baseball, Abbott? Tell me!
Shit, Jiminy Christmas. I'm going cross-eyed.
Who's on first?
Yeah. Oh my god, is that why they're Abbott
What's
and
a
Costello?
question?
Oh my god.
Is that why they're Abbott and Costello in the fucking movie?
Because of the wormhole aliens and who's on first?
No, but who's on first? Like, is that...
It's a miscommunication of language.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
Holy
I can see that.
That's why I love it.
I bet it is, especially because they had different names in the book. Somebody was probably like, hey, who's... But also not just the miscommunication of language, but, like... Because, again, we think of, like, who is the name versus who the pronoun, but also, like, in this case, too, the whole temporal thing. First isn't a concept for them. Jesus Christmas, this movie.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so the book itself, I mentioned, is called Story of Your Life, and Disney changed it because I guess when it was testing with people, they assumed that title would be like a romantic comedy or something.
Yeah, Story of Your Life doesn't sound very aliens invading.
I also feel like...
It ends up making sense for what it is, but when you go in with any expectation, it's not at all what you think it's going to be.
But but also in a weird way, I don't know if it would have served as a hint and therefore helped give away the twist.
I mean, the very first line Louise says to Hannah is I thought this was where your story of your life began. And
that's true. That's true.
Also, points for them for giving Hannah a palindromic name. That's cute. Yeah. I like that. Good. But
touch. They are right, and that Story of Your Life definitely sounds like a rom-com.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This did actually have me thinking. I meant to look it up and I completely forgot to because I was too busy being fucking mind-bent by this picture. I assume, like, do we know who came up with the term first contact? Like, I assume it predates Star Trek, but I don't actually know.
I have no idea.
Felt like there was a non-zero chance it would maybe one of the many random things Jake just knows.
I don't. I bet it must predate Star Trek.
I mean, it must, but you never fucking know.
No, the movie or the episode from Star Trek?
I say that the term was coined to describe a scene of Jonathan Frakes and BB Newirth going at it.
Yeah, well, there's a whole Wikipedia entry on the term as it applies in science fiction.
Yeah, well, I wonder if it even if it even has applications outside of science fiction, referring to like contacting uncontacted peoples and things like that.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
One of the things that I was thinking about this film, or at least I guess I was wondering, because they never explicitly say it's not true. I'm just going to go with Thing from the Addams Family is a baby heptapod.
Beautiful. And that's why he's always there right when they need him. He already knows.
Yep. Mm-hmm. You got it.
That's silly.
Because, yeah, they do just look like giant hands.
Yeah.
With like knuckles and everything.
I don't know. I felt bad at the moment when they're first introduced and they're making their noises. I'm like, oh God, poor Chris. These things are so whale-like.
They sounded like whales. Yeah.
I was okay.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
It was all the clicky and not the thing that makes whale sounds spooky to me is the like oohing.
The echoiness quality.
Yeah, which they didn't have, so it was fine.
They did have little squid ink orifices that they used to write with, just like built onto their bodies.
Yeah, they're super cool.
They were cool. And I think, considering the film is now 10 years old, they aged pretty well too.
Oh yeah,
not perfectly, but I mean, like, not bad.
Yeah, but yeah, it's a 10-year-old film. I didn't even think of that, but you're right. It feels so recent.
Yeah.
All I could think of was the Farpoint aliens.
The jellyfish?
Yeah,
I like them.
These were kind of squid-esque, in my opinion, to mine eyes.
Well, I will say, based on a very cursory glance, there are separate Wikipedia entries for First Contact anthropological and First Contact science fiction. And yes, Jake, as you surmised, like the idea of First Contact as relates to uncontacted peoples has been around for a while, but it was, of course, back in the day called Discovery, which is problematic as fuck.
We've always been here, you see.
But it is possible that the term, like calling it First Contact, might come from science fiction. There is a 1945 novelette called First Contact, which is about first contact between a human and alien species. So the term itself, actually calling it First Contact as opposed to something else, might be a science fiction thing, but not Star Trek.
Interesting. Neat.
Yeah.
And I'm Jake.
Yeah. Is there anything else you don't have a blogtivity to segue us into? I hear it's funny. A minute ago, it almost sounded like you're going to segue voice, but it's like, but there's nothing to segue to.
Oh gosh, I wonder what I was going to segue to. It's gone now. We don't have a blogtivity, but I just really was super pumped to talk about this movie with you guys. As we saw in one of our blogtivities, hey, it was over on the Tumblr, whatever it is, when we talked about movies. Yeah, this made my top 5 sci-fi movies of all time because it's so fascinating.
Definitely would have had I seen it. At the time.
Yeah, it's very good.
Like, I forget what's on there, but just
sure.
knock off number 5 and put this in its place. Sorry, number 5.
Oh shit.
Actually, no, put this at number 2 and knock number 5 off the list.
Oh, very fickle we are.
Well, I just realized that it would be very high up the list, so.
That's great.
Yeah, no, this is a great movie. I really liked it, and I went into it kind of feeling like, ugh, am I gonna like this? And I loved it, so.
I mean,
yes.
I went into it like, because I was saying to Ames before we were recording, I've just not been in a watching anything mood lately. So I went in like being like, I want to see this picture, but I don't want to watch a movie right now, but I have to. And very quickly I was like, nope, I am 100% here. Like,
yay.
my
What have
attention...
you been doing instead?
Huh?
What have you been doing if not watching things?
Reading things, video games, wasting, playing a lot of Balatro on my phone.
What's Balatro?
Oh, it's this delightful little card game. I'll show you later.
It's a very addictive
deeply
card
is that the one where the
like,
rules change on you and shit?
You can modify them with
like
jokers.
Modifiers. Yeah.
But a lot of my free time lately has just been putting on a YouTube video I've watched a million times for background noise and just playing Balatro.
Which
YouTube video?
It's usually like Grumps or Rin or something. But yeah, no, this, like, I was like not in a watching anything mood. Within minutes, it grabbed me again, like totally had my attention.
I love Louise's house.
Oh, it's so nice.
It's so nice.
That is the most unrealistic part of this film, is that a university professor makes that much money.
Yeah, but she mentioned,
depends on the university.
Forrest Whitaker mentions like, she has had to work for the government before, and I'm sure that's where that house came from.
Probably.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh.
Very
yeah,
cool.
Such a good film. It'll be fascinating to watch again knowing it.
Mm-hmm.
God, I feel like that I mean,
should we do another episode where you've watched it already?
But I get I know we're trying to wrap, but this just occurred to me. Like, all films obviously like have this element of rewatch and experiencing it differently every time, especially films with like a twist. But considering the themes of this film, it almost feels like even rewatching it ties into the theme of the picture. Jesus,
right? Because then you know what's coming. Yeah.
Yeah. As someone who's seen this film at least 4 times now, it holds up on rewatch.
It's,
for sure.
It's like a meta commentary on the very act of filmmaking and film watching.
Oh, that's so good. Yeah, because literally the thing I wrote down that's interesting about this movie is this is a story about the order in which things happen not being important.
Yeah.
And it's that unimportance that is vitally important.
Yeah.
Because there's no cause and effect. Everything always has been. And that's fascinating.
Yeah, like I went into this thinking like it is going to be so hard to talk about this film and not sound like the world's most pretentious fucking douchebag. But I can't help it. I cannot remember the last time a film knocked me for this much of a fucking loop.
No, you don't sound pretentious.
I mean, I did when I was talking about meta commentary on the act of filmmaking and watching. That's the most pretentious thing I've said in a while. The rest I've tried to sound normal.
I liked it.
I didn't think it was pretentious. I just thought it was thoughtful.
Yeah, shit, though. I'm glad I finally watched. I'm super glad I went in only ever having seen a trailer. Like,
yeah, I think because also, like, when I watched this, like, I came to the realization exactly when the movie wanted me to, which I think is hard to do with movies that have a twist because people want to guess the twist.
Yeah.
They just naturally want to think ahead, like, what's going to be the thing that happens. And when you're caught off guard by something, that's impressive.
Yeah, and I do mean this as a compliment too, but I had a somewhat similar reaction at the end to the simultaneously greatest and worst episode of Voyager ever, with the fucking Silverbloods doomed to die.
Course Oblivion.
Course Oblivion. There was a similar just like, fuck you, but fuck. Like, I know I said at the time of that episode, it did exactly what it wanted to do, but I hate that it made me feel that way. And this, I didn't hate the way it made me feel as much as I did that episode. That episode is a prick. But there was a similar moment of like, oh, I feel so bad, but that's your point, you bastard, Denis. Because just like the idea of having to be in that position sucks, but it's done so beautifully.
You know it's not done beautifully?
Season
5 of Star Trek Discovery.
I remember
because Caitlin hasn't seen all of season 5 yet, so we're going in with the open mind.
We're going in dry.
I am so excited to watch her watch this live.
Caitlin is raw dogging Star Trek Discovery, which is not recommended. But we're picking it up next week. Where we will be talking about the first episode of season 5 of Star Trek Discovery, Red Detective. Nope, that says Directive. Red Directive.
Directive?
That's the one. Red Directive.
Ollie.
As opposed to other types of directives. Prime directives. I mean, red is a primary color.
True.
So maybe
the RGB directive.
There you go.
RGBD.
But yeah, anyway, we will be talking about that next time on A Star to Steer Her By. Until then, you can listen to all of our backlog of over 5,000 episodes on SoundCloud,
well, see,
YouTube.
Jake knows we're going to go that far because he doesn't see things linearly.
That's right. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and wherever else you can find podcast music, songs.
Man, I gotta tell you, I really wish that I didn't have to listen to podcasts linearly, because then I would never run out of podcasts.
That's true.
And yet,
sucks.
You're already completely out while not being out.
Oh my God. Anyway, you can also read our blog, linearly or otherwise, by going to Tumblr or sshbpodcast.com. You can follow our linear microblogging on Blue Sky, and you can do whatever the fuck you want on Facebook, because I don't even know what gets posted there. But you can find out if you find us on Facebook. My name has been Jake.
My name is Chris.
This has been Ames.
And this is always Caitlin.
Oh, we should do the intros, because we didn't do them at the top of the show.
Did we not?
No.
We did.
Did we?
I thought we did.
No, I launched right into the episode.
If we didn't, we just did them, which means we did.
I was waiting for it to start. At one point, I just announced, and I'm Jake.
Oh, yeah, I remember
that's why you said that.
I thought, I didn't.
Oh, I was doing a whole non-linear thing with that. And I was like, maybe Chris is being meta with this, and we'll just do the intros later.
That's totally what I was doing.
I
feel like that always happens when we do the 10 forwards because the structure is gone.
Yeah. It was totally on purpose, everyone. Thank you for listening.
Wow.
Wally.
Oh,
that was good.
I have Wally comparisons to make later.
Yay.
Fun.